بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين، واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalamu alaikum, my beloved ones, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, we are going to continue our Manasik al-Hajj sessions. And inshallah, today we will have our final session of Ihram. And then inshallah, it's not a final session. It's just final sessions of rule of Ihram. But then now we are next upcoming session, we're going to take Turuk al-Ihram. What are the things one must avoid in the state of Ihram? So just make it like that. Make it like that. Okay. فالسؤال رقم 18: إذا جهرت المرأة بالتلبية أو بالقراءة في صلاة الطواف بحيث يسمعها الأجنبي، فهل يبطل عملها؟ Okay. So عملها. So if a woman she says her labbaik Allahumma labbaik with voice loudly, or the recitation in salat of tawaf, in a way that a foreign person doesn't mean like somebody from Europe or somebody from West. No, ajnabi is someone whom she is a potential for her marriage, like ghair mahram, non-mahram, someone who is not related to her with blood and or not her husband. فهل يبطل عملها? So her deed, does it become invalid, her salat or her talbiyah? Al-Jawab, he says, no, it does not become. So if she says labbaik Allahumma labbaik with loud voice, it will not become invalid. Question number 19. جاء في المناسك. It is mentioned in مناسك أن الأولى لمن عقد الإحرام من سائر المواقيت تأخير التلبية إلى أن يمشي قليلا. فهل تقصدون بالمشي قليلا المشي في نفس الميقات أم بعد تجاوزه؟ So you have mentioned in Manasik that it is more prior. Awla means recommended precaution. So it's recommended precaution that whoever has binded himself in Ihram, in the state of Ihram, he said labbaik, he said, I'm entering the state of Ihram for Umrah al-Tamattu or Umrah Mufrada, okay, قربة لله تعالى من سائر المواقيت. Remember in Masjid al-Shajara we mentioned, what was the Masjid al-Shajara issue? Masjid al-Shajara issue was until he comes to Bayda. He walks until he comes to a place called Bayda. If Bayda, we said that where Sufyan's army will be synced according to the narrations. So he delays delays. But here the question is not about Al-Bayda. The question is about all of the miqat. So it is recommended precaution for someone who has binded himself in Ihram, the intention of Ihram, from all the miqats, okay, from any of the miqats, to delay the talbiyah, delay the labbaik Allahumma labbaik, until he walks little bit and yamshi qalilan. So when you say سيدنا يمتئ بالمشي قليلا, it is just inside the miqat or out of the miqat. Like al-Bayda, Masjid al-Shajara issue was out of the miqat. So if I'm going to draw something here, okay, so this is area of miqat, okay, this is area of miqat, like Masjid al-Shajara. This is Dhul Halifa. So now, and Bayda was here. Now, we said that those who are entering the state of Ihram in Masjid al-Shajara in Medina, they walk and then they do the talbiyah. Afdal. But al-ahwat, precautionary measure was to say your talbiyah. Don't leave Masjid al-Shajara without talbiyah, with that ihram. And then but say silently. Once you come to Bayda, you raise your voice. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. Excuse me. This was the ruling with regards to Masjid al-Shajara. But now the question has been asked about all the miqat, including Masjid al-Shajara. We said in Masjid al-Shajara, enter the state of Ihram. Don't leave the miqat don't leave the miqat for this area. On the basis of obligatory precaution, as a precautionary measure. Excuse me. Sayyid Sistani Damadullah says, do your talbiyah, I mean, do your in the Masjid in Ihram. Okay. Let's say this is Masjid al-Shajara and this is outside. So when I am in Masjid al-Shajara, I said labbaik here. Should I walk a little bit inside the Masjid al-Shajara or outside Masjid al-Shajara? For Masjid al-Shajara, there was an exceptional case. But here we are talking about recommended precaution for all the miqat to say labbaik after walking a little bit. So this is my miqat of Juhfa, or miqat of Yalamlam, or miqat of Qarn al-Manazil, or miqat of Dhat Irq, any miqat. I say labbaik, and this is the border of the miqat. So when the question is, فَلْتَقْصِدُونَ بِالْمَشْيِ قَلِيلًا, when you say, Sayyidina, that after walking a bit, is it like walking in this range inside the miqat, or no, after passing the miqat? Obviously, it should not be after passing the miqat, because you have to enter the state of ihram in the miqat. Except for Masjid al-Shajara, that's an exceptional case, as we mentioned previously. So he says, المقصود الإتيان بالتلبية في الميقات نفسه. The same miqat. That means don't pass the miqat inside this area. Just inside this area, you said labbaik here. I mean, you said the intention of ihram here. You pass a bit and then say your labbaik. A little bit, then say you. So don't say أحرم لعمرة التمتع حج التمتع وجوبا قربة الله تعالى لبيك اللهم لبيك. No. Just walk a little bit, okay? Maybe a few steps, but it's still in the miqat. So he says, المقصود, the intention is, what I mean is, it is meant الاتيان بالتلبية, to perform the talbiyah in the miqat itself, بعد المشي قليلا عن موضع نية الإحرام فيه, after walking a few steps from where you set the intention of ihram. Question number 20. هل يعتبر في لبس ثوبي الإحرام وخلع المخيط qasdul qurba. So what does it mean? In fiqh, some wajib is ta'abbudi. Some wajibat are tawassuli, like you took in ilm al-usul as well. Ta'abbudi means you have to say qurbatan ila Allah ta'ala. If you don't say qurbat in the intention, you have to mean, I'm doing this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like salat. Your salat will be invalid because it's ibadah. It's ta'abbudi, worship, or acts of worship. Hajj, the rituals of Hajj, staying in Arafat, staying in Muzdalifah, all these places. Qurbatan ila Allah ta'ala. These are ta'abbudi. You have to make intention that I'm performing this. Okay. Uh, so, and tawassuli, like removing the najasat. Removing the najasat, if you show off, see how clean I am. See, I'm an excellent removal of najasat. There's that you brag, you show off. Will the najasat be removed or not? Yes, it will be removed. Because you don't need to do this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not. Yeah, if you do that for the sake of Allah, you'll be rewarded. But is it wajib for you to say I'm to achieve the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way you say it in salat? No. You don't have to say that in your heart. Okay? Achieve the nearness to Allah. So that is tawassuli. So najasat must be removed. I poured some water and najasat got removed. That is what done. Finish. I did not say qurbat lillahi ta'ala in my heart. No, that's fine. I bragged about it. Okay, show off. That's it. But in salah, if you show off, your salah will become invalid if you make your intention of show off. Totally. It needs to be for the sake of Allah. Now, there are people, they doubt, did I do show off or not? That's from shaitan. Don't worry about it. But if you are yaqeen, 100%, that you prayed to show off the people, that means you did not pray for Allah. That means your salat is invalid. So therefore, we have this ta'abbudi tawassuli. One more example. I gave this in ilm al-usul as well. So for example, getting married. You need to say the aqd of marriage contract. The woman says, زوجتك نفسي على المهر المعلوم. The guy says قبلت or قبلت التزويج or منك على المهر المعلوم. Let's say a Maulana comes and you give him, or even any other Maulana. You don't need to, marriage contract doesn't need Maulana. It's our cultural tradition that we feel that the Maulana does things right. How many Maulanas I've seen them, they don't recite the marriage contract right. It's just the trust and the faith of the people, you see. Otherwise, not necessarily any majlis reciter is a scholar. So therefore, many mistakes happen. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, surpasses. We cannot say it is zina or haram or this. No. The Maulana was ignorant. I don't think so. He would intentionally make mistake. And the people who he was binding the marriage contract were ignorant. So they were unaware. He was not aware. It's khalas, inshallah, Allah takes that as a true marriage. But intentionally, wrong marriage contract, obviously the marriage does not happen. But do I need to say qurbatan ilallah ta'ala? Let's say Sayyid Yasin is studying Hausa. Or let's say Brother Abdullah Sultan is studying Hausa and he recited this reading with a nice fancy recitation, like the recitation of the Qari and something like that. But let's say hypothetically, he's getting married now, inshallah soon. Muhammad Wali Muhammad is looking for a wife. Soon he gets a wife, proper wife. And now he said, no, I'm studying Hausa. I'm going to recite our own contract. You see? So he doesn't want anybody to represent him. So what happens? And he sees, mashallah, so many people. Here the shaitan hypothetically comes to him, show them how beautiful your voice is, how beautiful your recitation is. And here Brother Abdullah got under the pressure of shaitan, and he started saying that like in a rhythmic voice, see guys, I'm reciting the marriage contract in a in a rhythm and in a rhyme and in a zawajtu wakilati, something like that. So now he's showing off. In the same time, he's reciting his contract. So will we say his contract is invalid? No, his contract is valid. Why? Though he had the intention of bragging and showing off how beautifully he recites the marriage contract, his marriage contract will not be invalid. Why? Because the purpose of the marriage contract is intention. Your intention was to create a bond. You see, bind your wife with you, that binding contract. Once you said, zawajtu qabiltu, finish. The athar, the effect is there. So this is called tawassuli. Okay? Doesn't need qurbatan ilallah ta'ala. So the question pours here. Whenever the question is qasd al-qurba, that means the questioner is asking, is it ta'abbudi or tawassuli? That means if I do not say qurbatan ilallah, will my dress of ihram be okay? I wore my dress of ihram. Remember, wearing the dress of ihram is wajib, and it is an independent wajib other than entering the state of ihram. You have to take off your ihram in most of the cases, and where you have to take off your stitched clothes and wear those two dress for men only. For women, their normal clothes are their ihram, as long as they are not flesh and beautification and all those kind of things. So he says, the questioner, هل يعتبر في لبس ثوبي الإحرام? Is it required in wearing the two dress of ihram for men, obviously? وخلع المخيط, and removing the stitched attire, قصد القربة, intention of nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is it required? He says, لا يعتبر في خلع المخيط. When you're taking off your stitched clothes, okay, like Superman. So when you're taking off your stitched clothes, لا يعتبر, the intention is not required. Okay? I'm taking off the stitched cloth for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, it's going to be embedded in the intention of ihram. I'm entering the state of ihram. That means you're not going to wear stitch. That's 25 things in your mind. Even in lump sum, we said, you don't have to memorize all those details. Just to say, whatever is 25 things I'm going to avoid. That's your intention of ihram. When you say, uhrimu, I'm entering the state of ihram, that means I'm preventing myself from committing 25 things, which are the about 25, because some are specific for male, some are specific for female. So about 25 things prohibited in the state of ihram. That is the intention of ihram. When you say uhrimu, I'm entering the state of ihram, that means I'm going to avoid those things which are in violations of ihram. So he says, لا يعتبر في خلع المخيط. It is not required in taking off the stitched attire for men, obviously. ولكن لا يبعد اعتباره في لبس ثوب الإحرام. However, it is not far away. Remember this word far away? Yesterday we mentioned, or maybe day before last week. Far away means it is not far away. That means it's the fatwa of Sayyidi Sistani. Some people, they say no. Some scholars they say yes. So now there is a case of hesitation. So Sayyidi Sistani Damodullah pulls himself towards affirmation. That means what is far away is not mentioning the intention of achieving nearness to Allah, but that is far away. But making the intention, it is not far away. That means that is my fatwa. So he says, yes, اعتباره في لبس ثوب الإحرام, because it's wajib. And whenever there's wajib, it could be wajib ta'abbudi, wajib tawassuli, wajib that the purpose needs to be done, regardless of the means. But here, no. لبس ثوب الإحرام by itself is wajib من باب الموضوعية. The mawdu' itself is obligatory. It's not a mean, because sometimes you may say it's tariq, because you're taking off your ihram, okay? Because you're taking off your ihram, because you're taking off your stitched clothes, you have to wear something. You see, you cannot be like Jahiliyyah. Jahiliyyah, they used to do pre-Islam tawaf without having those dress of ihram for men. Okay, so therefore, that was in Jahiliyyah. But in Islam, no. Islam made obligation. See, obligation on men. So it's not an option. You take off your stitched cloth, you have to cover your body. So how will you cover your body? With this attire. So this dress of the cloth of ihram is obligatory to cover your privates, to cover your body. So why these two dress? Can't I wear anything else? I mean, I wear just like can't I put leaves? Okay, get some banana leaves and put on your privates. One banana leaf for up, one banana leaf for down, or maybe you might need 4 banana leaves, one for front, one for back. Cover your body with banana leaves. No, because this is from the, if you remember from Ilm al-Usul, um, this is from the wajib mawdu'i, not wajib tariqi, not من باب الطريقية موضوعي. The mawdu' itself, this dress cloth of ihram by itself is required. That means you cannot cover your body with anything else other than for men. ولا, so that's why he says لا يبعد اعتباره في لبس ثوب الإحرام. That's why say this instances it is wajib to do this to dress of ihram, and that means the intention of achieving nearness to Allah is required, because you have to cover the body, and you have, but why not ta'abbudi if the purpose was just to cover the body? Because there's a narration that this is required for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if it is required from the bab of ta'abbudi, then you need to achieve the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's why the point of hesitation, la yub'adu, it's not far away. Let me summarize it. I think the wires got mixed up. Why he says qurbatan ilallah? Qurbatan ilallah ta'ala is obligatory, and he comes out of the point of hesitation. He did not pluck it with ihtiyat wajib. Because some scholars might have considered this wajib tawassuli and tariq from tariqiyya. So that means if I can find any other way to cover my body, fine. But this is because Sharia mentions it's wajib to wear this thawb al-ihram, then this wujub is wujub tariqi. That means if I have alternate means to cover my body, then I would do with that. So that's why some said this is closer fatwa to me, closer opinion. I mean, closer conclusion that no, it is wajib tawassuli. You don't need to say qurbat li ta'ala. For Sayyidi Sistani Damadullah, he says no, it's wajib ta'abbudi. You need to say qurbat li ta'ala. This is closer to me. than not saying it. Why Sayyidina? Because it is not tariq here, wujub tariqi. It is wujub mawdu'i. The mawdu' itself is required. If it was tariqi, I could have used alternate. But the mawdu' itself, and the mawdu' itself when is required, it could be ta'abbudi tawassuli. So here Sayyidi Sistani chooses that it is ta'abbudi for so they have to say achieving the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so la yub'adu, that it is the closest, the closer to me is the closer or conclusion that one, it is required qurbatan lillahi ta'ala, Allah ta'ala, achieving the near intention of achieving the nearness to Allah is required in the two cloth of ihram. ويكفي أن ينوي القربة باستمرار لبسهما قبل نية الإحرام والتلبية. And it is sufficient before the intention of ihram, before the intention of ihram and before the labbaik, he has already said it. وَيَكْفِي, it is sufficient that he intends to achieving the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on continuous basis, that he says, Ya Allah, I'm going to continuously wear this dress, these the two cloth of ihram, continuously I'm going to wear it until I'm done with my unlocking my ihram. That's done. You made the intention of consistency, that you are not going to stop. So he says, "An yanwil qurba bistimrar." He intentions that I am going to be in the state of achieving the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuously. Bistimrari labsihima. It will continue with the dress of ihram and labbaik. So once you have said ihram and labbaik, you can remove for going to the restroom and going to doing something, carrying heavy loads, but most of the time you have to keep it on your body, especially the private part cover that needs to be always there, you see. And the upper part you can drop it is for some reason. We mentioned here that a person can drop his the dress. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, question number 22. So this is understood. We move forward. يشترط في الإزار في ثوبي الإحرام أن يكون ساترا ما بين السرة إلى الركبة. فهل يشترط ستر السرة طول فترة الإحرام أو عقده؟ Why do I feel we have taken this or its repetition? Those who are following me, did we do these rulings? Okay, if you say if you're quiet, that means you can send a message as well if you feel that we have done this. I don't think so we have done this. Question number 22. But if you feel that, just let me know. يشترط في الإزار في ثوب الإحرام أن يكون ساترا ما بين السرة والركبة. Or maybe we did it in the rulings, because these are questions and answers. And this was repeated, yes. So it should be covering the navel to the knees. فهل يشترط ستر السرة? No, we did not do this, because the covering the belly button, So covering the belly button, it is obligatory or not? Because it says from the surah, from the navel to the knee, from the belly button to the knee. So this surah needs to be included in the dress of ihram, or it can be like ihram starts after it. Okay. So طول فترة الإحرام, like entire time of the ihram, or while binding. So while binding the ihram, we said that the niyyat should continue of the cloth of the ihram until the intention is binded. But what about after that? After that, we said most of the time you have to be there. You have to have this, except for few moments. You can remove the upper part. أو أن ما يلزم على الأحواض, obligatory precaution is to that the loin cloth should cover between the navel and the knee, between the navel and the knee. That means the knee is not included and the navel is not included. ولا يلزم ستر السرة عند عقد الإحرام. So when you are binding, obviously, if it is the in between area, then the navel point is not included. So you don't have to have that while you are binding the intention of ihram. And moreover, if in the time of binding it is not obligatory, then it is not obligatory all the time. فضلا عن وجوبي في تمام مدتي. So the entire time you don't need to have the navel covered. Okay. Um, but for your information, when we say navel to the knee, in the dress, in the normal dress, we said that people cannot wear shorts, okay, or briefs or underwears and be in public. In public, they have to cover from the navel to the knee. That means the knee is inclusive as an obligatory precaution. So here for ihram, uh, if they say between the navel and the knee, so there is a flexibility here, okay, but not too short. It should cover until the edge of the knee. When we say navel to the knee, that means from the edge of the knee and belly button to the edge of the knee, not above it. No, the max is like the minimum coverage is above the knee. Like this is the knee, okay. So like here, above the knee, not all the way up, down. Yes. So this is the minimum edge. Don't go above this, above the knee. Just keep it like, and most of the time, just keep it until the maximum part of the foot. I mean, not foot, the leg. Yes. ولا يلزم ستر عقد ستر السرة عند عقد الإحرام فضلا عن وجوبه. Question number 23. إذا لبس الحاج ثوبي الإحرام. If Hajji, if a person performing Hajj wears the cloth of Ihram before the miqat, okay, before the miqat, many times it happens. So people, they say, do I have to shake it? Like I'm in miqat now. People, they wore their ihram from Dubai airport, but they did not make the intention. They said we are going to make the intention where in the aeroplane when before passing the miqat with nether. Okay, so here إذا لبس الحاج ثوبي الإحرام قبل الميقات. He wore it in Dubai airport or Istanbul airport. But then before coming to the miqat, like 1 hour before the arrival, they made the intention. I'm entering the state of Ihram for Umrah al-Tamattu, Hajj al-Tamattu, Hajj al-Islam, Wujub al-Qurbat Allah Ta'ala, if it was first Hajj, or Umrah Mufrada. So what happens here? Do I have to shake my dress, pretending that I'm now dressing? No, he says, La yajibu. It is not wajib. So, like undressing and dressing, or like the lower, but don't undress the lower part in front of public in airplane. You scare the hell out of the passengers. They'll have to do the emergency landing. So just like wherever you're in the bathroom or something, it's not needed. I mean, why do you want to mess up with your ihram? And God forbid it falls down, especially the lower part, and the emergency landing would happen. So therefore, just be in the emergency landing for not what they saw, for being afraid of having a crazy guy in the aeroplane. That's, oh no, he might kill us, he might do anything to us, land the plane. Anyhow, let's go back. So إذا لبس الحاج ثوب الإحرام قبل الميقات. If a person performing the Hajj if a person planning to perform the Hajj enters and wears the cloth of Ihram before the miqat, uh, accidentally dress comes out from my mouth. The reason I'm just correcting it quickly, because it is not dress. Dress, many times when I tell people a dress comes out, people they think that Ihram can be stitched. No, that's why I say piece of cloth. That means unstitched. Two pieces of cloth. You must have noticed that several times I'm accidentally I'm going to say dress and I just fix it to cloth. So so he wears the two cloth of ihram, and then before the miqat. So he says when I'm in the miqat or wherever I'm entering the state of ihram, فهل يجب علي فتح الإزار وتحريك الرداء في الميقات ليصدق اللبس هناك أم لا? So is it obligatory upon me to loosen the loin or open the loin? Oh my goodness, the navel and the knee part. I mean open it, not dropping it down. Open it like loosening it and tightening it back again. Okay. Uh وتحريك الرداء and moving the upper part, okay, of the cloth fil miqat, so that it is considered that I have wore I got into the dress of ihram. Here it's no needed. It's not needed. In the miqat, the obligatory part is intention and labbaik. Question number 24. إذا أحرم في ثوب مغصوب. Okay. Let's say you guys are in a caravan and in the airplane, and then you forgot. Oh, I forgot my ihram. Like on the bins where they keep the baggage. Okay. Um, uh, so this guy opens. Where is my ihram? Oh my goodness, I forgot my dress of ihram. Oh, am I bad and this and that. He says that like, oh, there's a bag of ihram. You know that ihram, they keep it in a special plastic bag, transparent, separately, handy. Whenever they want, they can take it out from cabin. Okay, cabin, and then go and dress on the ihram. I mean, get on the put the clothes of ihram on. So he says, oh, there's a bag. Let me take this because my Hajj is wajib. I cannot miss my Hajj. I did mistake. He did Pink Panther stuff and he stole the somebody else's ihram. Hyperbolic Irfani stuff. No, I can't. I have to be in ihram. Even I have to steal somebody. I have to be in that spiritual state of Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. And when he would say labbaik, he will fall down and knock down and his face will pale and this and that. I have to check that spiritual state, and he steals somebody else's ihram. So, or no, the ihram was najis, or no, the ihram was from the non-edible animal. We said the conditions of the dress of ihram. Okay. إذا أحرم في ثوب مغصوب. If someone enters the state of ihram in a cloth which was usurped, stolen, or without permission, أو غير واجد لشرائط الساتر, or the other conditions were not available, which are supposed to be obligatory in salat. Remember, at-tawafu kas-salah. Tawaf is like salat. So whatever conditions and rules and regulations are found in salat, we apply it in tawaf. Why? Because Imam Ali Salatu, instead of repeating every conditions, he said at-tawafu kas-salat. Tawaf is like salat. So whatever is required in salah, it's required in tawaf. So instead of mentioning the detailed conditions, there are conditions, but this narration at-tawafu kas-salah has opened the door for everything which is obligatory and applicable in the salat. It is applicable in the tawaf. واجد لشرائط الساتر في الصلاة. If a person enters the ihram in cloth which are usurped or not fulfilling the conditions of the body cover in the salat, فَلْيَصُحُّ حَجُّهُ. Is his Hajj going to be correct? That means his Ihram is going to be correct. Ihram correct, everything correct. Ihram incorrect, things are not correct, except in few exceptional cases. So he says, لا يضر ذلك بصحة إحرامه. This kind of thing, wearing the dress, because we said these two are independent obligations. If you recall, independent obligations. إذا لا يضر ذلك بصحة إحرامه. It doesn't have anything to do with the intention of Ihram. Intention of Ihram is something, excuse me, wearing the dress of Ihram is something else. نعم إذا كان ساتره في الطواف أو في صلاته مغصوبا أو فاقدا لبعض الشروط الأخرى المعتبرة فيه، جرى عليه حكم تارك الطواف أو تارك صلاته على كلام وتفصيل مذكور في المناسك فراجع. Okay, so لبيك اللهم لبيك you say, but after that you will have to change the cloth of ihram to go in Makkah and buy a cloth of ihram, so that your tawaf and salah, they need these conditions. Entering the state of ihram, you can enter the state of ihram in najasat as well, in anything, but for tawaf and salat al-tawaf you need. But just a while ago you said that it is wajib, okay, while binding the intention of ihram. Yes, it is wajib to wear the wear the cloth of ihram before binding yourself in ihram, intention of ihram. That is that. But it is not a condition. So you have committed a sin by entering the state of ihram in a usurped dress, stolen dress. You have committed a sin, but it will not invalidate your ihram. The intention of ihram will be correct. There will be no invalidation of the intention. That's number one. So where? So I can continue. Yeah, as long as you're continuing your haram as well. You see, because you have usurped somebody else's cloth. But when you come to tawaf and salatul tawaf, their tawaf's conditions are more extra. The salat conditions are extra. Purification of the dress, purification of the attire, purification of the permissibility of the dress. Okay, so that the cloth of ihram were usurped. So therefore, it will affect on your salat and on your tawaf of tawaf and salat of tawaf, with the details mentioned fil manasik. We already mentioned these details. So therefore, ihram will be okay in that dress. Salat, tawaf and salat tawaf will be not okay. لا يضر ذلك بصحة إحرامه. It does not harm or affect in the validity. It does not affect the validity of ihram. So he's entered the ihram. Yes. However, if his body cover or things which cover his body in tawaf or salatu maqsuban, it was usurped, or faqidan li ba'd al-sharait al-ukhra, or lacking some other conditions which are required in the salat and tawaf and salat, jara alayh hukum tarik al-tawaf. Even though he had done his tawaf in the usurped dress or najis dress, intentionally, he will be like someone who abandoned his tawaf and abandoned salat of tawaf, with details mentioned. هل يجب على المرأة أن تجتنب المخيط في ثيابها حال الإحرام أم يجوز لها أن تحرم في ألبسة العادية? Is it permissible for a woman? No. Is it obligatory on a woman like men? Is it like men? Are they obligated like men? No. هل يجب على المرأة أن تجتنب المخيط في ثيابها? Is it obligatory on a woman, on the woman, to avoid stitched attire during ihram? أم يجوز لها أن تحرم في ألبسة العادية? Or it is permissible for her to enter the state of ihram in her normal clothing? He says يجوز لها الإحرام في ألبسته العادية. It is permissible for her to enter the state of ihram in her normal dresses. Here the dresses, it's a dress, it's a stitched dress, because women, they are not required to take off the stitched and wear that two cloth. So that's why we say these are two independent wajib. Wearing the cloth of ihram and making the intention of ihram. Women, they don't have to wear the cloth of ihram. Their dress can act as their ihram, stitched dress. ورد في المناسك أنه إذا تنجس أحد ثوبي الإحرام أو كلاهما فالأحوط المبادرة للتبديل والتطهير. It is mentioned in manasik that if one of the cloth of ihram becomes impure, becomes defiled, najis, mutanajis, or both of them, so it is mentioned in the manasik فالأحوط وجوبا, on the basis of obligatory precaution, المبادرة, to go instantly, exchange or purify. Change or purify, one of the two things, okay? Immediately, instantly, المبادرة إلى تبديلها. ورد في أنه إذا تنجس أحد ثوبي الإحرام أو كلاهما فالأحوط المبادرة إلى التبديل أو التطهير. ولكن, okay, so now we know that your dress of ihram should be, most of the time, should be pure. Okay? Should be pure. On the basis of obligatory precaution. ولكن كثير, but for tawaf and salat al-tawaf, it must be pure. So make sure during tawaf and salat al-tawaf, your dress of ihram is pure. ولكن كثيرا ممن يذهبون إلى المذبح. However, many of those who go to the slaughterhouse, تتنجس ثيابهم بالدم, their dress of ihram becomes defiled by the blood or contaminated by the blood. ولا يتيسر لهم إلقاء الثوب المتنجس, and it would not be easy for him, or they cannot take off that defiled dress, it became impure, or exchange it or purify it. So three things: take off, change. That's number one. Number two, purify it. So I'm sorry, two things: take it off, put another dress, or purify it. But they cannot do while they are in Mina, unless they come back to Makkah or they can come back to their tent. They have their extra standby piece of ihram available. ولا يتيسر لهم إلقاء الثوب, and it is not feasible for them to take off this najis dress or change it. Take off and change it or purify it. Take it off, change it or purify it. إلا بعد العودة إلى خيامهم, except after they come back, they return to their tents. So is there any problem in there because they are now wearing something najis and they have to purify it? He says that there is no problem there. It's okay. It became najis, that's fine. But be careful for salat and tawaf as-salat. Yes, so I'm not, we'll take some extra few minutes because I don't want to keep 2-3 questions floating for next week. We need to enter the second topic. I mean the invalidators of ihram. Question number 27. مرشد الحاج الذي يتطلب عمله أن يبقى فترة طويلة في المذبح, هل يلزمه المبادرة لتطهير ثوب إحرامه أو تبديله إذا تنجس بالدم أو بغيره؟ The Hajj guide the caravan leader who goes to the slaughterhouse, who has to be in slaughterhouse for a long time. Sometimes they have to slaughter 200 goats, sometimes 300, in some caravans 500. So he has to be there for a long time. So what's the problem? But this najasat will be on his body, blood coming here, blood coming there. You see, you are going to have a blood bath. You come out like you'll see, oh my goodness, who am I? Have I done iqama or something like that? So, and really, I mean, when you go in and come out, you will see lots of blood on your body. So now what? Should it be purified or changed? فهل يلزمه because the difference between this ruling and previous question, here he is not in slaughterhouse for his goat and he'll be slaughtering and leaving, or 4 or 5 goats. He's going to spend long time there. That means long time your dress of ihram is najis. So he says, a question is هل يلزمه تطهير ثوب إحرامه أو تبديله إذا تنجس بالدم وغيره. Is it compulsory upon him to change, to purify, to go and purify the cloth of ihram, or change it, or if it became impure because of the blood or anything else. He says, نعم يلزمه على الأحوط, on the basis of obligatory precaution, it is required upon him to go and change or purify. Change or purify. Okay. Question number 28. هل تجب الكفارة على المحرم إذا تنجس ثوب إحرامه وتنجس جسمه فلم يبادر تطهيره? Is there any penalty on a person who is in the state of ihram, that if his dress becomes defiled, impure, or his body becomes impure and he did not do anything, فلم يبادر إلى تطهيرها, he did not go, took necessary actions to purify it. He says لا تجب الكفارة, there is no penalty on that. بل أصل وجوب المبادرة إلى تطهير البدن إذا تنجس غير معلوم. He says, if you can see, all he has used is obligatory precaution. Here, yes, obligatory precaution, he needs to purify. He says initial obligation is not known. That's why you say I've plugged with ihtiyat wajib. Because there is no evidence indicating that you have to purify it. So that's why I say the Sistani use obligatory precaution. So he says, لا تجب الكفارة بذلك. There's no penalty on delaying the purification. Okay. بل أصل وجوب المبادرة إلى تطهير البدن. Rather, the original rule of obligation, or the original rule of obligation to go to purify your body, or purify your body. أصل وجوب المبادرة إلى تطهير البدن إذا تنجس غير معلوم. If it becomes defiled, it is not known. We don't have any evidence. It seems there was ijma, shura, some kind of thing, and that's what led to say the Sistani being skeptical about from where did this rule come. We don't have hadith, we don't have authentic hadith, this and that. So so that's why it is not obligatory. There's no kafara on that person. Purification is obligatory, but does he have to pay kafara if any najasat was on the dress and he did not change? Question number 29. هل يجوز المحرم أن يرمي الرداء عن منكبه? Yeah, this is the question we're looking for. So a muhrim male person, can he take off the upper part of the cloth from his shoulders after ihram has been binded, after the binding of the intention of ihram? You said labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Now can I It's hot, especially nowadays. People they go for Hajj. It's very extremely hot. It's like in this month. In this month there is like a kind of hell doors open. Okay. Yeah. After completing the intention of Ihram and saying Labbaik, so can he drop off this upper part and leave the lower parts and perform the amal of Hajj, perform the amals in such condition? He says, يجوز له ذلك. But we said in our rules of Manasik al-Hajj, if I recall correctly, that uh, most of the time you keep it unless if you have to go somewhere, do some stuff, lift the thing, lift the pot. Many times the worker who are working in the caravan, they can't work with the upper part there, so they take it off. So here he says that can a person take off the from his shoulder? Yes, he can. And he can perform the a'mal also in such case. Final two questions. حج أغمي عليها. A female person performing the Hajj, she lost her conscious. Like sometimes the Irfani people, they have the shock in all kind of situation. Epiphany or something like that, any of those hyperbolic people. So let's say this Hajjah, okay, she was anxious. She has been waiting all her life to come for Hajj and never got fortunate until finally this year. So once they arrived the miqat, out of this hyperbolic irfani thing or spiritualistic attack or spiritual attack, whatever say it, or no, she was sick or something like that, she lost her conscience. حاجة أغمي عليها في الميقات قبل أن تحرم. A woman who had performed the Hajj, حاجة أغمي عليها في الميقات قبل أن تحرم, before she enters the state of Ihram, okay, in the miqat, she lost her conscience. That means she got knocked down. Okay. She went into coma or something like that. أغمي عليها في الميقات, in the miqat, قبل أن تحرم, before she enters the state of Ihram. ولم تفق رغم محاولة ذلك. That spiritual attack was so severe and so grave and so deep that she's just lying there. She's knocked down for a long time. So they tried to wake her up. No benefit. Khalas, she seems to be gone in the hyper spiritual state, or she must be having some blood pressure problems and hyperglycemia, whatever problems. People, they faint in Hajj. So they tried waking her up. She could not. فهل هناك وظيفة على أحد اتجاهها? Is there any responsibility upon someone towards her fulfilling her obligations like tawaf and salat al-tawaf and all the other things? الجواب, the answer, إذا كان هناك من يتولى أمورها فليحرم عنها. That means this lady did not enter the state of Ihram. قبل أن تحرم. See, the question says before she entered the state of Ihram. Okay, no problem. If she has a guardian, okay, then he can enter the state of Ihram on her behalf. وإلا فليلقم بذلك أحد المؤمنين بإذن الحاكم الشرعي. Otherwise, let someone else take this responsibility, one of the mu'mineen, because they are not guardian, with the permission of religious authority. So because al-wali, the guardian, is everything after the mayyit. But if the guardian was not there, that means one of the believers should take responsibility with the permission of the religious authority. So the religious authority must give the permission, because the rule says al imam warith man la warith lahu, al imam wali man la waliya lahu. So imam, that in the absence of imam, the marja, religious authority, or even in this case it can be a mujtahid بإذن الحاكم الشرعي. Okay, so women, they see men, they are in white dress, and they always feel, why we have to just wear in our regular clothing? Why don't we make our regular clothing white color? Okay, fine, Bismillah, Tawakkalu Allah, equal right phenomena, something like that. That no, they have to have everything same like the guys. So we need to have our white white dress of ihram, stitched dress, white dress, not cloth. هل هو مستحب? So is it mustahab? Is it recommended to have a white color as it is in the case of men, or no? As it is in the case of men, or no, it's not mustahab. He says لا يبعد استحبابه بالنسبة إليها أيضا. It is not far away. That means there has been a discussion, but say the Sistani chooses that it is not far away. That means it is more closer to me, that it is permissible for her to be in the mustahab. He said لا يبعد استحبابها بالنسبة إليها. It's not far away that istihbab, she's the rule of istihbab is inclusive istihbab of white clothes to the women.